everyone, so today I am going to show you my book collection slash bookshelf tour. I don't have a bookshelf, so I'm just going to show you all of them. You're probably seeing my little book stand. I use this black table or like coffee table, and I just stack some books on here that I like. So I don't have a bookshelf because I don't like bookshelves. I think they look ugly. Or not ugly, but I don't want one in my room because I don't have space either. And I don't want just like a small one either. So yeah, I just store most of these books in my attic or like storage space. But with that being said, let's get started. So I have all the books in front of me, and all of them are in different categories. So we have contemporary, classics, poetry, fantasy, and like memoirs, nonfiction, basically. Also, here we have library books. I forgot to give it back. Okay, so let's start with the start with the contemporary. So I have I'll Give You the Sun, which is my favorite book. I'm planning on rereading it because I've never read the actual copy. I've only had the ebook. Then here I have The Perks of Being a Wallflower, and I bought this a couple of years ago, and back then I was so obsessed with, I just like this. This was my aesthetic. And now I wish I would have gotten like the original copy or like the original book. I don't know, but I think this is also cute and I love this book so much. It's just as great as the movie, but the book gives you a better insight into their lives and what actually happens. I feel like in the movie you didn't really understand what his aunt did to him. I feel like that was much more clear in the book. Then we have Tell the Wolves I'm Home. I bought this a couple of weeks ago and I have not read it yet. I don't know when I will. It's not on my TBR. I don't think it will be on my TBR. I don't know why I got this. I just got it for the sake of it. And my dad was paying, so hi. Then we have this. Since You've Been Gone, bye. Then I have The Sky Is Everywhere by Jandy Nelson as well. I'll Give You the Sun is also by Jandy Nelson. And this is also my favorite book ever. It's just so beautiful and I love this copy or like this front design thing. Love it. Then I have a bunch of John Green books, and in one of my vlogs I said that I did not like John Green, and some of you noticed and like asked me why. So basically, I don't dislike John Green, but are any of these books actually great? Or are any of these books actually good? This one is not. This one is good though. This one is alright. No, it's good. I don't know. This one is alright. I don't dislike him, but it's not the type of book that I'm looking for at the moment. So hope that explains a few things. But yeah, as you could see, I have Looking for Alaska by John Green. I love this cover as well. I love this cover much more than the other cover. The other one is ugly and this is pretty. Again, my aesthetic back then was... Then I have The Fault in Our Stars. I like this cover a lot. It just reminds me of the old times, you know, the Tumblr days. Then we have Paper Towns. I like the movie very much, and I love the vibe of the movie, and I love the vibe of the book as well. But there is just one part of the book, like this part of the book is just plain out boring. It's so bad. I also read this when I was in 7th grade, so maybe that's why I really disliked that part. I don't know, but I love the cover. And then we have An Abundance of Katherines. And when I read this also in 6th grade. I read all my John Green books in 6th grade. I was the #1 John Green fan. I remember not liking it, or I remember not loving it, but at the same time it's kind of funny. So those are all of my contemporary books. Now let's move over to my classics. So the first one that I have is Emily Bronte. Wuthering Heights. So this is my favorite book ever. This, The Sky Is Everywhere, and I'll Give You the Sun. My all-time faves. So good. So this is my favorite classic so far. I've only read 3. And so I was at the bookstore last Saturday and I saw a cover of Wuthering Heights that was so beautiful. It was the Penguin Classics, and I wish I would have gotten that, but at the same time that's in English and I don't know if I could read Wuthering Heights in English. I mean, the Swedish is hard enough, you know? So then I have a Penguin Classics book. So this is what I was referring to. but this cover is kind of ugly. But this is Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte. I have not read... Oh, a bookmark. I have not read this yet, and it's not on my TBR either. I'm kind of tired of classics at the moment, actually. But I'll see. And this is also in English, so maybe I have to improve my English vocabulary a little bit before I read this. So then my next classic is Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. So I'm reading this currently. I am almost done. I have like 40 pages left. And so far, so good. Actually, I disliked it very, very much until like page 250. So then I have The Great Gatsby. Again, why? What was with me? Why did I get the ugliest cover? Why did I get the movie covers? Don't ask me. But this is The Great Gatsby, and it's also a classic, pretty sure. Yeah, it is. And I read this when I was in 7th grade as well, and I did not like it because, or I liked some chapters, but some were just really boring, and I think that was because I didn't really understand, because I read a classic novel when I was in 7th grade. I mean, what was I thinking? You know, English is not my first language, so it's not like I know everything, you know? Did I even finish this? What if I didn't? I have folded a page here, and it's not. Okay, whatever. My reread list might not. Moving on to the next category, we have poetry. So I have Milk and Honey here. I don't know why I wanted this so badly, because it's literally just a bunch of poems and you can't really read it. It's more for decoration, I think, because one time I was like, okay, I'm going to read Milk and Honey, and then when I was opening the book and starting, I was like, how do you even read poetry? Like, do you just skip pages until you're done? I don't know. Moving on to fantasy. At the moment, I'm not interested in reading fantasy books. I don't know why, because I personally like fantasy and dystopia. So first off, I have Shatter Me by Tahereh. But this is one of my favorite books ever. It's by Juliet and Adam, and I love it. But then I also have this book, and this is Destroy Me and Fracture Me in one. It's like a spin-off. No, it's this series from another perspective. Also, thank you for this book. I love Warner. I hate Adam. Read it if you please. Just actually, Shatter Me is a series I really recommend. So then I have a bunch of Divergent books. So let's just get started. First, I have two paperback. No, it says paperback. But it's Divergent and Insurgent, both in Swedish. And I remember reading these and I loved them so much. So that is why I ordered all of these hardcovers. I don't even like hardcovers. I don't know why I got these, but I did. I'm never going to read this. So if you're interested in getting like hardcover, really nice Divergent books, never used, let me know, honestly, because I'm never going to read these, and they're really nice. Beautiful. Hi. And now my memory card is running out of space, so. Hi, I talk too much. Where was I? I feel like all of my book videos are just all over the place. I also feel like I'm way too, like, low on energy. I don't know. But now moving on to the next category, and that is nonfiction. So, first off, I have two huge One Direction books, because if you didn't know, I used to be the biggest One Direction fan. I was 1DIF. I had a One Direction fan account on Instagram. I tweeted about One Direction. I watched their live streams. I watched every single One Direction funny moment. I cried when Zayn and Perry was going to get married. My God. But then in 2015, I got way caught up with YouTube and I stopped. I stopped obsessing over my One Direction Instagram, and I just slowly fell off the One Direction wagon. But also, I stopped crushing on Harry Styles, which I just watched almost all of the Late Late Show, Night Show, I don't know, with Harry Styles. And oh my God, my crush, Harry Styles, first of all, I have a crush on you again. And second of all, you are the most beautiful human being I've ever laid my eyes on. But I have two One Direction books. Dare to Dream. I have Revolution by Russell Brand. Then I have Fear by Osho. So boring. Then I have Big Magic by Elizabeth Gilbert. She's the author of Eat, Pray, Love, if you know what that is. This was also boring, kind of interesting though. And then I have Confessions of a Sociopath, and I am really excited to read this. I have not yet read it. I have all of these nonfiction because I used to think that I only liked nonfiction. I don't know why, because I don't even like nonfiction. I like fiction. But that is going to be it for today's video, I think. And I'll see you next time. But also, the books that I store on this are the books that I, 1, really like, 2, are pretty, 3, on my TBR, or like new. What should I do for the thumbnail? That is the question. I don't know. I don't know. I'm lazy. I want to do something quick.